Welcome to Rome.
If you don't sleep so sound tonight, I got a bed that'll keep you warm. If you got monsters left to fight, I got a love that'll wage a war. If you don't sleep so sound tonight, if you don't sleep so sound tonight, if you don't sleep so sound tonight, I got a bed that'll keep you warm. If you got monsters left to fight, I got a love that'll wage a war. If you don't sleep so sound tonight, if you don't sleep so sound tonight, if you don't sleep so sound tonight, I got a love and it's only yours.
Welcome to Rome. Right now we're in the Colosseum. This is the old gladiator stadium. It's pretty crazy because the actual field where they did all the killing and all whatnot is actually really small. I just think compared to like Adelaide Oval, which holds 56,000, the actual playing arena in Adelaide is like huge, probably like 4 times the size of this, but they got an extra 10,000 people into all these stands which were all so small and so crammed, so the atmosphere in here would have been electric, none to say. I think it would be absolutely amazing. Obviously very different sport that they were doing, but the crowd would have been no doubt absolutely bonkers.
Are you not entertained?
Just wonder what it would be trying to get a beer at the bar. The lineup would have been terrible.
He's heating up.
Anyway, we're going to explore a little bit more of the Colosseum and then do some more Rome stuff. Maybe just keep roaming around.
On fire!
Alright, so we just finished up a walking tour of some of the old parts of Rome. We did the Colosseum and we ended up here at the Roman Forum. So that's going to lead us to today's suggestion for the video. Instead of music, we're going to go with a TV show today, one of my all-time favourite shows, Plebs. If you know, you know, but the opening credits, this place right here. It's pretty cool how they've managed to maintain a bunch of all these old buildings and all these old roads. Apparently these roads, I think the lady said, were like 1900 years old, so it was pretty cool that they're still standing. It was one of the few things that kind of apparently outlasted this big fire they had here, but yeah, it's pretty cool they've been able to restore some of these things to their, well, part of their original state. Something that's pretty baffling, if you look all around this, is this was built over decades and centuries, but I was under the assumption that Rome was built in a day, so that's some news to me. That is probably the busiest tourist attraction I've ever been to. All that for a fountain. Our last day in Rome, our last full day, we've got one more night here. But we're off to do something I've been probably most keen to do for the whole trip. We're going to a pasta making course. So we go and buy the local ingredients from the local markets and then learn how to make it and cook it from scratch. So I'm pretty excited to do that. So that's what we're doing now. But something I've been thinking about as I've been posting photos to Instagram and editing all the images is that there is 1,000,001 ways that you can edit the same photo. And I was always like, never like super keen on presets, but they're actually kind of like a really cool way to kind of work out your style and work out what sort of, you know, editing techniques you want to work, what you want to use, because you can edit something really, you know, overbearing, you can do it really soft, black and white, pump up the clarity, drop clarity to 0, change all the colors, keep it pretty natural. So there's 1,000,001 ways. It's really cool to use them to kind of find your editing voice, I suppose. But this is, well, let's turn that down. One thing me and Rosie have noticed so far, and we've kind of confirmed with a bunch of other tourists we've walked through, is that Rome, as much as it's a beautiful city with lots of amazing old school architecture and, you know, all the history and all that, it is an absolutely filthy city. Also with the presets, I'm not saying like steal other people's presets and make them your own, but just use them to find your voice with editing, to work out what colors and what sort of styles you like. But here's another good example of all the graffiti that's around. It's really sad, you got this really awesome cobblestone streets and then you just got this shit. So yeah, take a little bit more pride, Rome. Take a little bit more pride. What's all that? So many of these smart cars. I tell you, I can't believe how they park and how they drive in all these tiny narrow streets. I will be having dinner. You'll be in a street like this, there'll be deck chairs and tables out that you're eating on, and then there'll be people on the other side and just cars cruising on through. And it's just, driving in Italy is tough enough already. You introduce that into the mix, no bueno, no bueno. I reckon if I lived here, I would 100% have a Vespa or a motorbike or something like that. But our taxi driver from the train station to our hotel, or our Airbnb, was what I reckon nearly killed like 4 or 5 people, nearly in like 10 accidents. We were going like 60 Ks over the limit sometimes, like just no regard for human life nor the law. And also the police over here do not give a shit about anything, hence all the graffiti. They just sit there, and I think the most effort we've seen the policemen do is blow their whistle when kids were putting their fingers into the Trevi fountains. They're more worried about having a smoke, playing on their phone, stand next to their car and making sure their slacks and their tight fitted polos are nicely pressed and not creased. So maybe they help contribute to having scenes like this around the place. The amount of graffiti and the trash everywhere is really sad, because you've got all this amazing history here and it's just absolutely dumped full of graffiti and garbage. So yeah, I kind of think the natural Romans would take a little bit more pride in the city, because like, look at this. Look at this. It's just absolutely ruined, which is a little bit sad. So we just wrapped up the pasta course here in Rome, and that was the highlight of Rome for me. That was absolutely awesome. Really cool bunch of people. Met a YouTuber and a NHL player there, so that was really awesome as well. A bit unexpected, but she was like, I feel like he does camera stuff because he's filming stuff on his phone in landscape mode. And pasta was absolutely awesome. What was the type of pasta?
Fettuccine Americana.
That one. So that was absolutely sick. We're going back, we're gonna get changed and then head off to the Vatican City and go see what the Pope's getting up to. So we're headed off to the Vatican now, but we just had to duck home after the pasta course because I had to put some pants on, because apparently when you go and see the Pope, you can't have your shoulders or your knees out. So guys have to wear pants, you can't wear a hat. Girls have to cover up their shoulders. But if I was the Pope, I would be more offended with the sweat patches he's about to see than seeing my knees. So it's gonna be pretty brutal because it's a tough day. We're gonna do a ton of walking today. Gonna go to the Colosseum to get a little sunset there, but it's gonna be brutal in wearing these jeans in this heat. So anyway, let's go see the Pope, say hi and see what all this architecture is all about. Just got to the Vatican City, and boy am I filthy about it, because there's knees and shoulders absolutely everywhere. I fell for it. If the Pope can't be trusted in his word, making everyone wear pants and long sleevers, who can we trust? Bloody Benedict, or who is it? I don't know. Pope. way more exciting than the Sistine Chapel. 100%. This thing is huge. It's nice and cool. And just look at all that. And you've got those God rays. How appropriate in a church. So we left the Vatican City to run down to the Colosseum, which is just up there behind us. So I really wanted to try and get some photos at sunset. It's a little bit of a shame because the direction that the light's hitting it from, there's a bunch of scaffolding and a bunch of construction, so probably didn't really get any great shots, but it was worth seeing the Colosseum because, you know, when in Rome and all that. But this is just the old Roman Forum sort of area. It's looking pretty nice this time of night. But one thing that's kind of really, I know I've said it before, but one thing that's really caught me off guard about Rome is how filthy it is, all the graffiti. I think of all the places I've been in the world, I've been to New Delhi. This might be the most disgustingly dirty place. Like, you've got all this amazing natural beauty and it's just kind of tarnished with all this just rubbish, graffiti, and just shit everywhere. So it's kind of a bit of a downer just on the city as a whole, but absolutely, if you get the chance to come to Rome, come to Rome, because the stuff, like the history, all that stuff is absolutely unreal. Also, on the camera situation, I've had the 20mm and the A7S III as my main vlogging setup, but there's been times where I've just can't be bothered getting the other camera out the backpack, or just don't have the time or whatever. So I've been just, you know, running with the 24-70 at 24mm, and it's super convenient to just have it all on the one thing. But if they could make a lens that's like 20 to 55 f1.8, I swear every vlogger out there would buy it, because you do get nice bokeh, you get nice wide, you don't need 16 so much, but you get all that flexibility of all the different zoom you can do to get different B-roll shots without having to change lens on and off the camera. Still absolutely love this lens, and the only reason I haven't been using it the whole time is purely out of convenience of bag on, bag off. My back is absolutely cooked, so I need to get home, have a little bit of a whirlpool, because we have one of those in our room, which is super awesome. But having to wear the jeans through the Vatican was less than ideal. I'm absolutely sweating bullets today. Turns out you absolutely can wear shorts here. They just give you this little shawl thing you have to wrap around your legs. So I wish I did that, avoided all the heat. And anyway, let's go get a gelato, then let's have a whirlpool. Stracciatella, please. Roman hazelnut. Not sure. Honey milk cream. Then can I please have another hazelnut on top of that?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Grazie. Grazie. A very Rome gelato with all this graffiti and all the trash in the background, but I don't really care because it's tasty. Oh yeah. Alright, time to go. Well, the gelati was very well needed after roaming around Rome. Look at those numbers. That's, what is that? 21 kilometers almost, and almost 28,000 steps. So we did some serious mileage across Rome, the Vatican City. If you ever come to Italy, obviously you have to come to Rome. Just be prepared. It's a pretty dirty city, lots of graffiti, but it's got some amazing architecture and some really cool history that you can all learn about. Anyway, don't forget to give this one a big old fat thumbs up and subscribe and all that fun stuff that, you know, helps these videos grow on the channel. I'm going to turn this whirlpool on. And also, thanks to Sony for supplying the A1 and the 24-70. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye!